I have no problem getting straight and square corners on projects I build in my shop. My layout tools do a nice job of keeping everything perfectly square. But building something in the backyard is a different story, especially with large projects like patios and decks, sheds and playhouses, and even flower and vegetable gardens. Unless you have a lot of expensive surveying tools sitting in the garage, getting straight and square corners on a project this size can be a challenge. Obviously, the layout tools I use in the shop are of no help here. They're just too small. Not to worry, though. I've got a few geometry tricks in the bag that carpenters have been using for centuries to get the job done. One of my favorites is called the 3-4-5 triangle rule, or as I like to call it, the 3-4-5 trick. It's a super easy way to create what's called a footprint, which is contractor's lingo for showing where each corner of your project will be located. Now the critical step here is making sure your footprint is straight and square, and that's where the 3-4-5 trick comes to the rescue. But before we get started, I want to suggest that you make a few gadgets to simplify the job. What you're looking at here are 3 pieces of string with an eyelet tied to each end. Make one string that measures exactly 3 feet from end to end. Another that measures exactly 4 feet. And another that measures 5 feet. In just a minute, you'll see how these 3 pieces of string come in very handy for laying out a nice, straight, square footprint. Now the first step of the 3-4-5 trick is to establish one side of the footprint. I like to start with the front. Keep in mind that the first line you draw here will determine which way your project faces in the yard, so choose this location carefully. Start by inserting some type of stake or marker at the first corner. I like to use a large galvanized nail. Then extend a tape measure from that corner to whichever width you've chosen for the project. Now mark that spot with another nail. Next, take your 3-foot string and attach one end to the first corner. Pull the string taut and mark this spot with another nail. Take your 4-foot string and place one eyelet over the far left corner. Take your 5-foot string and place one eyelet over the 3-foot mark. Bring the 5-foot and 4-foot strings together, pulling both strings tight as you make the ends meet. Then mark this spot with another nail. This creates a perfect 90-degree angle. Now, we'll use the location of that nail to help us draw a straight line to whatever depth you've chosen for the project. Be sure to mark the spot with another nail. Now, just as we did earlier, take your 3-foot string and attach one to the back corner and pull the string taut. Mark this spot with another nail. Bring the 4-foot and 5-foot strings together, pulling both strings tight as you make the ends meet. Mark the spot with a nail. Once again, another perfect 90-degree angle. Now we'll draw the back side of the footprint. If your footprint is a square or rectangle, the back side will of course be the same length as the front. Mark your third corner with another nail. The last step is easy. Simply connect the dots to create a perfectly straight and square footprint. Now a good way to double check the accuracy of your footprint is to compare the distance between opposite corners. If your footprint is perfectly square, both measurements will be the same. If not, slightly adjust the location of the corners until both measurements are identical. For more building tips and techniques, along with some of the easiest step-by-step project plans you'll find on the web, visit my website at easywoodshop.com. Thanks for watching.